heard, I'm Jessamyn from the Joliet Area Historical Museum, and this is our little Jake, also from the museum, and we're here to talk to you today about how to give your organization more of a personality, more than just posting pictures of what your organization looks like. We have little Jake for us, and as you can see here, we have fun posing him all around the museum. He's our museum mascot. We move him around through exhibits, through different events, and he gives our museum that kind of extra personality touch. We're more than just a museum that does research. We have fun. We got the idea from Sue the T-Rex from the Field Museum and the glass jar moles which is awesome, from the Grant Museum. And Sue has a very sassy personality that the Field Museum, which is a very professional research facility, does a lot of science. Sue's a way for them to say, hey, we have fun, it's cool. So as you can see, like, Sue will say stuff that has nothing to do with the museum, but also relates, she connects it back. So like, good morning, valued employer. The person showing you this tweet required at the Field Museum today for important dinosaur business. Hugs, Sue. So she has fun with it, but also incorporates it back to the museum. So we wanted to do the same thing with little Jake. We found something a little bit smaller, a little bit portable. His arms bend so he can hold stuff. So we can move him around the museum because we were going to use him more for Instagram as opposed to Twitter. So he's good for posing with different things and different people to have photos for our Instagram page. And we came up with the hashtag, as we were talking about earlier, Adventures of Little Jake. This wasn't used by anybody, and we were able to give him a title, give him a theme. So when people saw us playing with this random doll, we weren't just playing with toys. We have an idea behind it. He's going on adventures through our museum, like you should. We also use him a lot for our advertising because, as you probably know, you post the same flyer over and over and over again for your upcoming events. People tend to just browse past it and forget about it. But if you throw a random picture of a Blues Brother in there holding the tickets, they'll stop by and look. We also had a lot of fun for our Lego event. We show that he has fun at playing the games and chasing all the Legos around the museum, kind of to give an idea of what the events will also be like when you come. You'll have fun with these games too. Gives an idea of what's going to come up at the events. So especially for programming like our Blue Star program that lasted all summer, you can only say so much on the pictures. They're good to post, but he gives a variety of it, still gives the persona of what's going on. So he gives us a lot of flexibility in our advertising. We do both the flyer and him. He also, as I said, has adventures in the museum itself and plays with our exhibits and the collections. We have pictures of him sewing collections, pieces, the little tags onto it, labeling and archiving stuff. And he shows people not only what you can see, but what we do at the museum as well. And of course, he has his museum mascot buddies on Twitter and Instagram that are both in the US and the UK, and they all tag each other, which gets more exposure for our museum as well. We had the museum mascot games during the Olympics, which was a hashtag that we used, and a lot of people were following and interacting. And as we were all tagging each other in these photos, each week was a different theme. Swimming was a little difficult. So we had fun with it, and people saw them, and we all shared each other's posts, and that gave people an idea that we're a fun place as well. We're not just, as I said, a research facility. We like to have fun. We like to play around just like you do. This shows the museum's playful side, as I said. Which makes us more approachable. People are willing to come up and see, well, what do you guys do? What is this all about? We've even had followers who follow us specifically to follow little Jake, and the Dan Aykroyd fan club has shared our info so that way people can follow and make sure they keep up to date on what little Jake is up to that day. He keeps up to date as well with the holidays. His Easter bunny ears are sitting on the table. He sits at the front desk with me in the gift shop, and people will ask about him, say, what's he doing here with his little microphone? And he's a great conversation starter to saying, well, he has adventures through the museum. You should follow us on all of these social media platforms. And then they go, oh, that sounds great. I didn't know you had those. Yeah, let me follow. And then, of course, we are on Route 66, so part of the guest experience is we have some really cool cars that drive by the museum, and they've offered to have him pose and have some really fun pictures with the cars. And sizing is a little off, but it's still fun. And then we post those, and they follow us back to see those photos, as you guys were saying earlier, and they feel like they're a part of the experience, not just observing it from the outside. He does like to play with Snapchat filters as well. We have some ideas for future plans for little Jake. We hope to get him around the Joliet area, go to the restaurants, have fun at the Rialto, or go to a Slammers game, have pictures of him doing that so that we can create more of a Joliet's a destination. It's not just go to the museum, then go home. You can spend the whole weekend there and do lots of things, stay for a dinner.